How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. There's so much bullish news here today. I'm talking two new companies integrating crypto, bringing crypto to hundreds of millions of people. We have news that shows that stablecoins are being used as much as Visa now. It's a crazy graph showing how adopted stablecoins are getting. We also have some news that is coming out from Bloomberg that makes it very likely that Tesla is going to start accepting payments in Bitcoin here very soon. And we have some news across the whole industry, the entire macro landscape. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so that way you can see future videos just like this. I have something really exciting coming out probably in the next week or so. A product that I built from the ground up with a few other people, and it's fantastic. I am super excited. I want to use it myself all the time. Also, if you want to check out underneath the video, I'll leave a link to this. These Bitcoin hats, the Bitcoin Freedom hats that I made are on sale. The company that produces these is doing 20% off, but only through tomorrow or today. This is the last day. So check that out if you're interested. I think a lot of people are going to be buying these in the next bull run. And as you can see, the market is looking really good today. So Bitcoin is close to 27,000, up 3.8% in the last 7 days. Over the last 24 hours, up 1.73%. You can see the whole market's up 1.53%. So Bitcoin dominance is going up a bit here today. And you can see other companies that are related to Bitcoin actually doing quite well too. CleanSpark is doing well today, up 9.1%. This is a company that I hold, and I actually bought a little bit here today as well. I think that they're going to do quite well. And when you look at it, they're down 40% since their recent high, around $7.60. They're down 40%, and Bitcoin's down about 15%. So this is quite bullish in my opinion. Obviously, these sway more than Bitcoin overall, and you have to do more due diligence of that. This is a company I've been investing in for years, but I think that's going to do really well in the next bull run. And I was considering buying options, but instead I took the safer route and just bought a small amount of shares to add to my stack. Now, I was buying other stuff here today too. If you want to know what I'm buying, you can check out Patreon. Now, why is everything doing so well? Because there's honestly a huge change in the market right now. Because August wholesale inflation, or PPI, which looks at, again, kind of a precursor to CPI or a leading indicator. It shows how much wholesalers are paying or producers are paying. It rose way more than we were expecting. Just like CPI was higher yesterday, but this was even higher. The producer price index came in at 0.7% in August, and the estimate was 0.4%. So it almost came in double, and it had the biggest monthly gain since June of 2022. Now, core PPI came in at the expected 0.2%, which is really what the Fed looks at as core PPI, core CPI, and more likely than that, core PCE. That will be coming eventually too. But you can see that it was higher than expected. At the same time, retail sales climbed higher than expected to 0.6%. 6 times the estimate of 0.1%, so 0.5% higher. Initial jobless claims were 220 versus 225 estimated. So for a lot of people, they would think the last 2 days have been horrible for the market. When you look at it, inflation's higher, PPI and CPI. Retail sales were much hotter than expected, showing that the economy is still running pretty hot. And initial jobless claims was lower than expected too, meaning the labor market's still quite tight. Yet the market's rallying here today. And it's not just crypto. The traditional markets have been rallying too. I mean, yesterday, Amazon, Berkshire Hathaway, MasterCard, Visa, and Walmart all hit new 52-week highs. So there's a major change happening in the market. That's basically, I think, that major banks are now predicting that the Fed is done raising. So if they're done raising, we want numbers like this. Not in terms of inflation, right? We don't want like 2 to 4% inflation. We want that to continue coming down, but we want strong retail data. We want the economy to still be doing strong. We still want people to be employed. So I think that's the major change, is we were expecting inflation to go up. As long as it doesn't spike back up to really high levels, I'm talking 5% plus, I think the market is okay with some higher reads right now, assuming that the economy stays strong, because then we might not have that kind of recession that everyone was thinking was going to be coming. Now, let's move over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin and crypto, there's so much bullish stuff happening right now. Now, of course, there are things that could happen that could push us down. I've said that for ever, right? We don't know what we don't know. Something could happen with Binance and then it could blow up. We heard some rumblings about that yesterday. But there also are a lot of positive things happening in the background. So even if we fall down, keep in mind that all these big companies are still getting into crypto. I saw recently that this was actually a larger bank than 800 billion, but $800 billion asset manager, Deutsche Bank, partners to offer Bitcoin custody for institutions. The bank can now hold crypto directly for clients. So another big bank getting into crypto. We also had this awesome chart, and we have a couple other big companies getting into crypto too. Massive companies. 6-year stablecoins have gone from, in just 6 years, stablecoins have gone from $0 in volume to parity with Visa. That is some quick change. Let me zoom in on the chart for you. So these are adjusted on-chain transaction values for major stables via Coinmetrics. You can see a massive pump right away. We're talking about a significant amount, like 40 billion, 30 billion. This is a logarithmic chart. So keep that in mind, that even though we're like approaching ACH, there's still a huge difference. I mean, we're talking about an order of magnitude almost. So we're almost 10 times smaller. And even on Visa, yeah, we still are a decent amount below Visa, but we're getting real close. ACH right above, and then FedWire near $1 trillion. So I'd be watching this. This is significant. We're approaching Visa's volumes. We're getting closer to ACHs and FedWires. This is crazy. And as time goes on, as some of these companies are now adopting, we could see those volumes spike up even more, which gives more and more value to the crypto ecosystem. Now, I constantly look for new projects that have been able to make it through this bear market so far that look promising, that are in growing industries. And that's why I wanted to talk to you about Solidus AI Tech, which already has an 8,000 square foot eco-friendly performance data center already in the real world, and they're focusing on AI. So they are a partner of the channel. Hopefully I can continue to update you on them in the future. And they are now launching their AI tech token. It actually is already available on a lot of big exchanges. It's a small cryptocurrency now in terms of market cap, but it's available on PancakeSwap, Gate.io, BitGet, Polynex, MEXC, LBank. So I wanted to walk you through it. Now, what are they doing? They're paving the way for a more convenient and secure future by providing accessible artificial intelligence as a service, blockchain as a service, high performance compute power, and an artificial intelligence marketplace. These are all powered by their native token, AI Tech. Now, the problem right now is there are an absence of European HPC facilities within the global top 10 rankings. Now, HPC, again, are high performance computing power facilities. So a lot of these European countries have to go outside of Europe, which causes some security concerns and latency. So they are trying to bring this into the cryptocurrency world. And actually, I looked, they've been around for a while. They've been on Twitter for more than 2 years, and they have 2,260 posts, which is a significant amount. I was just scrolling back. This is from years ago, and they were still talking about AI then. This is way before people were talking about AI in terms of ChatGPT or anything that's been going on this year. Now, they have a ton of engagement. I mean, we're talking about 600 likes on each post. They have 172,000 followers, a lot of them legitimate followers over time, because I was looking at how they've just grown consistently over the years. They are fully doxed and have a ton of partners. I mean, we're talking about being audited by Certec and Solidity Finance, being partnered with exchanges Gate.io, Mexi, BitGet, Bitmart, PancakeSwap, Launchpads, a lot of partners and backers from Binance Smart Chain to NVIDIA to Chain GPT, all these large companies. And they have the roadmap on their website. I'll leave links to this underneath the video. They're doing a lot of giveaways consistently too on Twitter, so I would definitely go check them out. Check out their native token, which is still a pretty small cryptocurrency at $4.32 million market cap, according to CoinMarketCap. Now let's get back to the video. We have a new super app called Grab that is going to start Web3 wallet trials. And you might not have heard of Grab. This is apparently really big outside of the US. It's about as big as Uber. Grab Web3 wallet will be available to users of ride-hailing, food delivery, and digital payments app in Singapore to use vouchers in NFT form and earn rewards and collectibles. The first stage of the pilot will be just in a few days. Now, they have 180 million users, making it one of the most popular consumer apps in Southeast Asia. Now, Uber, on the other hand, has 118 million active users. So we're talking about users versus active users. I don't know if they're talking about active users here, but it sounds like it's on par with Uber. So they say, I think it's going to be very easy for us to imagine a world next year where we can take a billion users and have access to Web3 and therefore have access to transacting stablecoins. This is coming from Circle. Now, a lot of this I think is being unveiled at Token 2049. So this is pretty cool that we're seeing all this adoption. 180 million new users could have access to crypto. Telegram also is adding self-custodial crypto wallets. And this is so much bigger than even Grab. Telegram, the popular chat app with 800 million monthly active users, is getting a self-custodial crypto wallet. So this does not sound like a pilot program. The move is set to solidify its presence in the vibrant crypto community that has emerged from the chat platform and can potentially help drive the masses into the crypto space. Telegram and Ton Foundation jointly announced the new self-custodial wallet called Ton Space on Wednesday at Singapore's Token 2049 crypto conference, which boasts more than 10,000 attendees. Now, this I think is even bigger because we're talking about 800 million users. This is an app that a lot of people outside the US use. I started using it a couple years ago when I really got into crypto. And they are trying to create like a sort of super app, kind of like X2. And this is massive. As more people move into this, obviously more people will naturally use it, especially during the next bull run. People will be like, oh, where can I buy crypto? Oh, Telegram has crypto wallets. Let's go there. And it'll be super easy for the masses to be able to buy Bitcoin and other cryptos. Now, some people are looking at buying crypto. Some people are looking at using their crypto to buy things. Today, Bloomberg Intelligence reported that Bitcoin mining uses energy that is plus 50% from sustainable sources. They actually said 58% clean energy. Now, why is that so important? Well, Elon Musk said previously, replying to Cointelegraph, when there's confirmation of reasonable about 50% clean energy usage by miners with positive future trend, Tesla will resume allowing Bitcoin transactions. Now, we've heard in the past that they're around 50%, but now coming out from Bloomberg, I think this is a really significant source of information, or a really well-respected source of information. So I would not be surprised if at some point in the near future, Tesla start allowing Bitcoin transactions again. And they do hold Bitcoin on their balance sheet. Now, do I think this is going to be super significant? Do I think that they're going to get like tens of millions or hundreds of millions of sales in Bitcoin anytime soon? Probably not, but it is good press. If they're willing to accept it, well, people will see that, and then they see all the banks that want to be part of this. They see the Bitcoin halving, and this could lead to the next bull run and could kind of ignite it like they did last time, where Tesla started buying some Bitcoin, they accepted it, and then really started a big bull run. Now, speaking of Tesla, if the UAW, United Auto Workers Union doesn't reach an agreement with GM, Ford, and Stellantis by 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, or about 12 hours from the time of this recording, 145,000 workers will strike against Detroit Big Three for the first time ever. I would expect this to probably take care of itself in the next few hours. I'm guessing the major car companies will kind of fold, but they will collectively lose an estimated $1.85 billion every week. So each of them losing about $600 million every week, or $90 million a day. And they can't afford this, right? A lot of them, several of them are deeply in debt. If there is a strike, I don't expect it to be long. This is coming from Sawyer Merritt. Obviously, not great for workers, not great for the major car companies, not great for consumers, because the companies will have to pass on some of these losses somewhere or just take on more debt. And this is not what you want to see as an American company. However, the workers aren't being paid as much as they should be, probably. And GM and Ford and Stellantis are kind of losing due to their own practices over the last 30 years, taking on massive amounts of debt, continuing to drill down on just gas-powered vehicles instead of trying to transition to electric earlier. It's tough for them now because Tesla is at cost parity. They're actually below. They have better margins and are able to continuously lower the price of their vehicles, while GM, Ford, and Stellantis are having a hard time selling vehicles. Now, it might not sound like that because they can pass on their vehicles to different auto dealers, and that's when they actually take on that's when they actually gain revenue, so they can continue pushing more vehicles out. But we'll have to see that these higher interest rates don't help them either. Now, Tesla, I think, wins because of this, just because they grow even stronger versus their peers. And they just received 149 million euros in a new EU charging fund. So they gained 42% of the allocated money to build superchargers across the EU. This is the largest beneficiary of the money. They had earmarked about 352 million euros. And again, Tesla's getting 149 million, so a significant amount of it. This will go to 12,000 charging stations and 18 hydrogen filling stations being built. Now, specifically, Tesla will build about 7,200 charging stations. So that's something interesting, right? They're getting less than half the money. They're getting about 42% of the money, and yet they're building significantly more than half of the charging stations. We're talking about 7,200 of the overall 12,000 charging stations. Now, hydrogen also takes part of that, but we're talking about 18 hydrogen filling stations versus 12,000. So it's a very small percentage. We're talking like less than 1%, obviously, of the overall charging stations being built. So this is really crazy when you think about that they are able to build them for so much cheaper. They probably would get even more of the funding if they weren't already in such a dominant position. There's probably some politics that go into that, spreading the wealth out a little bit. But these charging stations will be in 687 locations in 22 European countries. Tesla has previously received funding, so most of the superchargers in Europe are open to electric vehicles of any brand, just like they're kind of doing here in the US. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I am invested in Tesla, just to be very clear. I'm invested in Bitcoin. I have stablecoins. I've talked about a lot of stuff that I'm invested in. I think these are some of the winning investments over the next 5-10 years. Bitcoin, Tesla, those are my largest positions in anything. And even though they have some volatility, I think that helps us as investors if we can keep a level head. Obviously, if you freak out and sell when Tesla goes down to 100 or Bitcoin goes down to 15.5, you're not going to win over the long term. The only thing that you can hope to do is be able to have the kahunas or the oversight or just the level head to be able to buy towards the bottom. Now, I didn't nail the bottom of Tesla. I didn't nail the bottom of Bitcoin, but I was within a couple percent because I continued to buy as we fell down. Now, let me know your thoughts on all this underneath the video. I think I am always careful, right? Just because we're up a couple percent in a couple days doesn't mean that we can't fall back down. But I am very bullish over the long term, and I think you should be too. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you want to know why you should start buying Bitcoin right now, and you can start with $200, I'll put a video on the end screen that I just filmed yesterday. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.